G'day guys, I got myself and Flam here, and we're having. Okay, I'm going to say right now, we're having very very big technical issues at the moment because Flam's
Yeah,
camera is not working, mate. I swear we have to get it like a
yeah,
picture of milk, and that'll just replace you at the moment.
yeah. If you want, I'll find the photo of me drinking my 30th glass of milk for the night, if you'd like. You can see my disheveled face there somewhere. I'll see if I can. Who would have it? Mitch would have it. I'll find it. But if webcam's not working, webcam is not working. It's not much we can do about that. But you know what? It doesn't stop the fun that we are about to have with this grand final because Roy's number one fan has stepped into this underground lineup and has turned them from what was looking like a sixth place team to a top two contender.
Yeah, I gotta say, like they've done very very well to well essentially get not this far, but overall, I'll say yeah for the lower bracket. If we talk about underground, are we talking about underground or?
Yeah, we'll talk about underground if you want. MPR is the goat, and there's not much else to say.
Mm-hmm. I'd say
We're
overall, like
starting with 400 elo inside.
yeah, 400 Elite Insight indeed. So, how does the season have gone in ESEA Open at the moment? Because I looked at ESEA Open as part of the recap, I think about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and the season's probably shaped up as I expected. There were a few teams in there where I'm sitting there being like, looking at the teams they've played, and I'm like, they haven't played anyone difficult. Okay, like you can tell when like a person or a team hasn't played anyone difficult. It's just like, yeah, those guys aren't gonna last. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you had the AUU, you had YND, and I think you had GCSY as well, like in the top four. And I'm just like sitting there being like, yeah, these guys aren't gonna last, man. Like these guys are like gonna be top four by the end of the season. Because I was seeing him beat like a lot of dead teams and like one god to value Bessie and like Moo Gang and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there being like, yeah, they're not gonna get very far, are they? What are your thoughts
yeah.
on the season so far? Like I think the biggest disappointment I've had was Simplify not actually going for the full season and just electing to go boot camp to Europe. I know Ben told me they were going to do that, but I figured they were going to do it after getting through via Open.
Look, my favorite part about the Semperfi season so far is that I heard they got pretty upset they weren't automatic invites to ECL. They were told if they wanted ECL, they had to go through Open, and then they just quit on Open halfway through. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how they go. I don't really know if they're going to come back for Open. Maybe they're just going to do what Talon do and just stay overseas the entire time, um,
Given the
which would be interesting.
given the caliber of their roster, I think it's probably better for them to be over in Europe, to be honest. But I gotta say, no one has ever been invited to ECL. Like even that Pain roster back in the day, where Pain was like they granted from Open to advance to ECL. Do you remember that OG Pain
KCG,
roster? And they were getting like
KCG. Yeah.
no, it was with Big Zero and whatnot. Like in America, like everyone was expecting to get an invite to ECL, but they never did. But they got to ECL anyway. It was when they were getting deep
Yeah.
into those closed qualifiers that they're like, what the fuck? This Brazilian advanced team's getting quite far. But yeah, so like if they're not getting promoted, I don't expect Semper Fi to get promoted. Like it's just got to keep it consistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's be real, it's pretty upsetting to see Semperfi not even try the second half of ESEA Open
Mm-hmm.
because we came into this season, or we came into the start of this year. I think I was speaking to a few people who
Yeah.
were quite excited because what Talon had been recently picked up, Semperfi was just about to be announced, and so the whole rumor mill was going off.
Mm-hmm.
um we had FlyQuest pick up the old Greyhound roster and all that, and so there was a lot of excitement. And then we've seen FlyQuest do fairly well at the major.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real with ourselves. They didn't get through stage one, but end of the day, that's still a better result than I think anyone was ever expecting out of them.
Yeah.
We've seen Talon sort of do their thing overseas. Full credit to them. I haven't really been keeping up with them, and then we've sort of seen Semperfi just. There was a lot of hype around that team. There was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of promise for that roster. You bring in Keen, a dude who's been accused of cheating more than anybody else, and he's actually just the goat at Counter-Strike, and
He's very good.
we're just pissing him against the wall. What is this region doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, there was so much hype for that Semperfi roster. For them to just give up is just so disheartening for like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so
But
painful and
they
agonizing.
they did qualify for like they did qualify for Extreme Slam, so you got to give them that as well. And they did say they went to boot camp in Europe purely for it, essentially as well. So that was the main reason why they quit halfway. I'm a bit, unhappy about that as well. And the only way you can get really an ECL invite is getting an invite direct to relegation. And I've no idea if that invite's even going to be used, to be honest, because you can get an invite direct to relegation as well, but that's at the discretion of ESEA. And I was
They're
expecting,
not going to give it to them.
I was expecting like
They just
talent.
won't give it to
Yeah, I was expecting talent to probably try to take a nab at that invite as well, given how far they got into the Australian RM, or not Australian RMR, but got close to the Asia RM. They did get into the Asia RMR, so that discretion can be used, and Semper Fi would have like kind of no rights to it either.
Yeah, it's just it. I'm not gonna lie, it's just very frustrating to see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
it is. It is. You want to keep that talent in the region and spread it out to as many people as you can. Not to just stay in Europe all day.
it's like we can't have our number one guy be MPR. You know what I mean? Like we can't have our number one guy be MPR. We can't let that happen as a scene. I think we need to improve to, not allow MPR to be the number one guy in the region. And that's what I thought Semper Fi were going to come and do, and they just haven't done it.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the other teams as well. The other teams that weren't here. So we talk about above the rest. So above the rest, of course, they came in. They were coached by Payne. They upset KZG in like a 13-11, one of these open qualifiers and whatnot. Yeah, and then they lose a BO3 2-0 to Underground, and Underground are here because of that. What do you think about that matchup? Because that matchup we talked about before the stream as well. That matchup was actually surprising. It's one of those deceptive 2-0s where you look at a 2-0, you'd be like, oh, they must have been lost, must have been like a slaughter. But no, it was actually incredibly close. That second map could have gone either way.
Look, Mechanical had a masterclass, right? We had he picked Nuke for the first time. I think we've seen all of this bracket. To be fair, no one else has played Nuke. No one's wanted to play Nuke. And Mechanical pulls Nuke out of his back pocket like it's a little cheeky Yu-Gi-Oh trap card. Plays it against ATR, a team that I don't think has played a single rep of Nuke this entire season. And stomps them on it. And then ATR go into Anubis, possibly their best map and what Underground has probably been considering their top 2, top 3 map maybe. And they take it to what, double, triple overtime, something like that. Like for Underground there, it's a beautiful test of, one, how smart Mechanical is, right? To be able to, be the guy there to lead that roster. He's just a smart fella. He's not a fart smeller. And then their Anubis, it's good resilience because, I watched little bits and pieces of that map and I can imagine that ATR with Zuko, with AJ, with CSJ, with Ryu would just be pests. With Karayo too. Karayo as well, like they would have just been pests and just nipping away at any mental fortitude that Underground team had on Anubis. And it's good to see that Underground able to get out with the win, but I feel like that was a series that deserved 3 maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta say as well, Ryu was like expecting them to win as well, like ATR expecting to win, because he was like DMing me being like, mate, I'm on your fucking pre-show the moment we qualify. Like this was before even the fucking game began, man. And I'm like, shit, like fuck, you're that confident. And it's just good seeing teams go at it. Also, gotta say, a bit disappointing with them on Nuke, to be honest. Like, I hate teams that get like 3 rounds on Nuke, and I'm like looking at it being, did you start T side? And it's like, yeah, you probably did start 2 side, getting 1 round on T side Nuke. I think a lot of AU teams need to like either ban Nuke or practice, ban Nuke and practice Vertigo, or practice Nuke and ban Vertigo, or practice Vertigo and ban Nuke, because like
Vertigo.
It's
in this region. In this region, it's a bit rough because it's like you don't want to play either of them, but you only get the 1 ban. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You get the 1 ban, and the other one can be selected. So you can have like a default win map, basically, if you do practice like Vertigo or Nuke or anything like that, because you can throw it out there, because you can only ban 1 map, basically, as well.
Yeah.
So let's go for another one. Let's go through Canada Event, because they came 4th. Canada Event spun out towards the end there. They didn't get as further as everyone expected them to be. Like, they just spun out, and I think they went down back-to-back, I believe. Was that correct?
Yep. They lost the best of 3 to the Church of Parnell, and then they lost to who was it? It was the egotistical New Zealander. What was his name? I've forgotten his name.
GYSY? DCSY?
That's the team. Yeah. They lost to the egotistical New Zealander, and they've just it's just beautiful to watch.
That's quite. I gotta say that's quite a tailspin for a team because Canada performed so well in the regular season. Like everyone was giving plaudits because they lost Kraz and they lost a lot of important pieces to multiple different teams. They've lost Kraz to Arcade. Now he's going to KZG, and I don't know how they kept it up, to be honest, for Canada. Like they've done really good considering the heart of their team and like a lot of their clutches have just gone to other ECL teams.
Yeah, I mean, Kraz has recently gone to KZG now.
Yep.
And then they've had to pick up the Canada event. Have had to pick up the scraps of Altered Edge.
Yep.
And it's just rough to see. And then the scraps of Arcade with Supers.
Yep.
And then the scraps of fucking what other team?
Do we want to continue the scraps or should we keep going on with Canada event?
I think I like talking about the scraps because they're just a scrappy little team, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll keep going with Canada, but it's just really disappointing how Canada event ended. Like I'm just like, oh, these guys are looking pretty good. They might make it quite far. They lose a BO3 and then instantly they lose the following BO3. And it's just like, what the fuck happened? They just laid a goose egg and just stalled up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but it is the Canon event that we've come to know and love dearly.
Mm-hmm.
So, that sometimes they'll have a L crash out, sometimes they have a W crash out, and I think as a scene we've embraced that pretty well. And for Canon event, there's just some stuff that, maybe they need to pick me up, maybe get me on the rifle, maybe drop Crack Baby for me, maybe. The 567 ELO god.
Okay, pick a hand fight. Which one are we going for? Are we going for the crash that's in the right hand? Or are we going for the scraps, which is on the left hand? Okay, which team are we going to talk about next? Right hand or left hand?
Give me the crash.
So we go right hand, okay. We're going to talk about grip and spin because they also...
Oh, I hate this team. I want Streety dead.
They crashed out, and this is the worst part. They crashed at the start. They were 2-4. And then they win, I think it was 8 in a row to make playoffs. And they must have had very little faith in themselves to recover that season because 2 of them booked holidays. This is what you told me. They booked holidays for the playoffs because obviously Christmas is coming around. Oh, man. That must be a dreading trip to Bali or Cancun or Thailand or wherever they went to. They'd be like, we made the playoffs.
You know what it was? Streety went to Russia.
Oh, no.
Streety went to Eastern Russia for a week.
So he's freezing in Eastern Russia. He's in the cold, wandering, and he's got icicles on his eyelids, on eyelashes, being like, "Why? Why am I here?"
Just like Streety when he was on Mantra, cold, afraid, wet, scared, and naked. That's just the Streety way that we've all come to know and love. No, seriously though. Grip and Spin, they had a great regular season. They just had holidays booked early, and they just couldn't, play, and that's why. I sort of had a crack at Streety in the little article that I put up in my little beep boop 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 monkey with the keyboard type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was good to watch them play. They're a very fun team. I don't know if they're going to stay together for that next season because they are just still puggers at the end of the day. They've got Lambo, and a Lambo team never lasts more than half a season.
Yeah, Lambo's like a super sub basically. He's like the new KO at this stage. He's like, just if you need a person, you get Lambo. And he's just like the Australian native Safix at this stage. Because he's also an AWPer. He's an AWPer as well. And he also clutches really well, which Nato Safix does too. He is literally the Australian Nato Safix.
I think, we just start calling him Lambo Safix or something like that. But, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting for people.
I want this team to stick together, I've got to say, because, the resiliency to show, because obviously 2-4, I know someone booked holidays, but, to come back 8 wins in a row, you must be doing something right.
Oh, yeah.
Now we got the other hand. We got the Sharkies. They're the scraps. Talking about scraps, this team is the scraps of a lot of other teams in that Sharks roster.
Yeah, Craxy T. He's had a great fall from grace.
Harbour as well. Arcade.
Craxy T's gone from playing on stage to playing with Harbour. So what a fall from grace for that young fella.
You got Magic as well from Arcade roster as well. You got a lot of scraps in that roster that done reasonably well. You got Kyson as well. I believe he's on.
I thought you were about to say Kyson Nat.
Kyson Nat? Oh, we can get him on stream as well.
I'm so brain rotted.
He wanted to come on as well, but we picked you, Flam.
So you picked me over Kai Cenat.
Yeah. He knows a lot about ESA Open. He's an avid watcher. So all he does in stream all day is just watch ESA Open.
Yeah, I hear that's what he does when he's not making fun of Ray on Kai Cenat's stream.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who likes Kai Cenat, Josh?
Who?
I hear Coops is a big Kai Cenat fan.
To be fair, he's actually really, really good with like the like all the stuff he does on stream. Like it's incredible. He actually produces content. And there's a lot of content creators who get to his size, and all they do is watch other people's videos. Like, come on, dude. Like, you've got like money in the world to get people in and have a big party, and you're here watching other people's videos. Like, you could make that video yourself, and that just pisses me off always.
Yeah, well, Coops loves stealing content. I'm a big fan of Coops, and you know, I think he's come a long way from being the ugliest member on Arcade to being sort of up there as one of their better players. So big ups for him. I don't know. Did you want to interview the Underground boys now, and then we can let them go warm up for their grand final?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just throw it up to the grand final preview. Let's get the Underground boys in.
Let's get there.
Because they've been waiting there. They've been patiently waiting there, and they've been going to be
so patient.
They've been waiting there for a long time, and they're being like, oh no, like is Josh going to remember us? Is he just going to interview us like just before the game? Is this like a Vantage like sabotage? Like they don't come, but they do. Like we'll get them on.
Oh, Vantage sabotage. Well, let's ask Underground about Vantage.
Oh, of course,
because Vantage were too scared.
That's what we're going to ask him. Okay, so we're going to go to the next scene. We're going to drag him up shortly. Hopefully the webcams work. Don't every one of them dog the webcams. Okay, so I think it is a tech issue with me.
No webcams.
So we're gonna drag them all in now.
All right, let's go. Let's get our little guys in.
Okay, guys,
we got all of them.
We got all of them.
Yo.
Yeah, dude, I was surprised. I was sitting there going like, shit. Like, I did mechanical, and I'm like, all of them? It's like
all of them.
All of them.
Team effort.
I mean, if you don't want me here, I'll just go.
No,
fuck off, Riley.
Yeah, honestly.
Wait, we got a fake. We got an imposter here. Who's the imposter? Who's not actually a part of Underground?
No, we're all cooking.
I thought we had Riley. I thought we had Riley in
That's
there.
a weird way.
You want to get technical, or
That's a weird way to tell Coops he's just been cut. Like that's
that's
not do that, Josh. That's so rough.
Anyways, so we got the Underground boys in. This is the other grand finalists. Okay, they're taking on Vantage, who's up from the upper bracket. And how are you guys gonna win from being mapped down already? Like, what are you gonna do? You're 1-0 down. Like, do you just be like, shit? Like, do we just pick Vertigo and Nuke and hope it goes well, or what?
We just lose.
damn. Nah, I think honestly, just one map at a time. I think ours and Vantage's map pool is like very similar, so it's like there's not really a disadvantage in there. It's just, as I said, one map at a time, and we'll be fine.
So,
I agree.
So I've heard the Cleveland Browns answer, which is just lose, and I've heard the Ross Line answer is that we just take one game at a time. That's what I've heard so far. So how do you guys think your season's gone so far at the moment? With your playoff run and also your regular season.
It was a bit up and down because we made roster moves at the start, which kind of set us back a little bit, and then Luca or Beeb isn't here. He's on a holiday, so we kind of needed to have MPR back for the sub.
Is he in
So
East
it's kind
Russia?
of just a ragtag. He could be. Where is he? He's in Japan, isn't he?
Japan.
Yeah.
Close. He's close enough.
Yeah, he's having fun. That's all that matters.
Yep.
So, our season's gone fine. I think we had the close game against Vantage start, and then it's kind of just been cruisy from there. There's a few close games, but I think the regular season loss to Above the Rest kind of was a bit of a kick in the ass for us, that we're not as good as I think we think. So that was an eye-opener. And then the Shanghai Sharks loss in finals was a bit of a last leg. So it's good that the boys have pulled it back, which is nice. Thank God.
How do you pull that back when you're like, you lose Shanghai Sharks like that, and your lower bracket run is like 4 BO3s in a row, and the teams just get harder and harder? Like, how do you like prepare for that? How do you amp the boys up that, we're gonna be at the grand final?
I think it's just play with no pressure. Like, there's nothing to lose now. Where the upper bracket will okay, we're one of the favorites. We should be, top 3 minimum. And then we kind of took the low trip, but that's okay. And then it's just we just play. At the end of the day, it's just another game. We've all played so many, so it should, we were fine.
Yep.
One game at a time.
Mechanical here also gives some hell of a pep talk before and
Of
after the
course,
game to
course.
turn around the mentality after that loss.
So, what was the pep talk? What was the pep talk about? Was it like just, W keys drilled in, or like buy Tech 9s, or what?
Just a bit of everything.
Mostly
Recently, the
cons.
boys have got me into anime, so there's a few quotes from there.
Okay, what
Get in on
anime?
that.
Which one did it? Hey, which one did
Yeah.
it?
Which
That's
anime?
gone good.
I guess.
So, which one did it, and what anime? Okay, so we can judge them furiously.
Well, it's kind of Coops and Night Raid. But nah, it's Attack on Titan. It's going good.
Okay.
What are we, season 3 now?
Yeah,
Yeah, season 3 in like 1 week.
Yeah.
Two.
that's pretty good
We
actually. So
grinded.
he recommended you a good one, to be honest. It's the Underdog Story. Underdog Story, like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Hey,
Oh
underdog.
boy, it's going good.
Speaking
My
of
love
no
Petra
spoilers, no
passed away too
spoilers.
soon, man. Oh yeah, my bad.
Speaking of underdogs, stories, Coops, your form has been atrocious. What are you gonna do to wheel it back around to?
By
playing
chance,
like
has
you
Ben
were.
asked this somewhere?
No.
No? Okay.
No, not at all. It's just that, I had to put you ranked number 1 on a certain list, and you just haven't performed to that level recently.
The most important list?
Going on. Most important one of the region, yeah.
So HLTV number 1. You beat Simple, you
No, it
beat
was-
Donk, and you beat Memonacy, okay?
Well, he did beat Simple and Monacy. I don't know about Donk for the list that we're talking about, but you came in number 1 ranked. We need you to turn the form around, man.
Is it the noodle arm? Is it the noodle arm competitions? Because that's pretty hard to match
That's
Donk.
The OCE femboy tier list.
Oh jeez.
So Coops, what are you gonna do to become more of a femboy?
I don't know. Just keep going at a steady pace. I feel like I'm on the right track at the moment.
He's kind of the typical
going strong.
sportsman answer. Yeah, we look at that in review on how my ranking's going. Yep.
The NPR, you were ranked number 3 in that. Have you got your eyes set for the number 1 spot?
I think so. I think I'm gonna be an up and comer next season. Number 1 femboy.
Night Raid, you
I'll
were
start-
originally on the list, but taken off.
I
What do you
know.
have to say about that?
Oh,
I'm happy.
yeah.
I don't know what femboy is.
You know, femboys are.
So with the
Dang knows about 5 words of English, and they're all like in Counter-Strike terms. So
Con,
Yeah.
window.
Gone
Drop
window.
off. That's the other 3.
Yeah.
Give up.
drop
I'll give you
off.
one more word. Femboy. It's the cross on long.
Oh.
That's 2.
One femboy.
Okay,
Oh,
alright.
Scoops.
One femboy.
Oh.
one
Yeah, we get
femboy.
confused.
How do you guys feel the quality of competition was in Open this season?
Mechanical.
I think there's a top open, then there's the middle of open where it's kind of like on the day it's really whoever's performing, but I feel as if there's like a drop off, which
Yep.
kind of is rough. But yeah, I think there's kind of like a top 5, and then there's like 6 to about 14th, and then from that it's kind of a bit
A
bit
cliff.
scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because there's a
Yeah.
few teams in there that were up and coming, like they were top 4 halfway through the season, and I'm just like, none of those guys are gonna last. The only team that's gonna last in there is probably like Vantage, and that's it.
Yeah.
There needs to be
Well-
a main. There needs to be a main or something like that.
Yeah, an extra league.
That would make it easier.
Do you know what would help make it easier, guys?
Oh Jesus.
If we had more teams sign up. I'm not talking about Femboys Mech. Can we please put it away? All right.
Yes, my bad.
We need to get, what was it? I think the number
70,
was 75, 70 something.
Still
Yeah,
70.
we need to get 70 to have more teams, and we were like 6 or 7 short this season.
I think we would. Like, let me just check.
I feel as if that's the problem though, is like a lot of teams aren't playing for too much because there's none of that like middle ground, which kind of makes it rough. Because it's like, okay, well, we'll just barely make finals. Where if it's like the top 15 of open go into like a main league, then the bottom tier open teams have something to play for in a way. Where it's just like, I remember like when I was first starting, it's like not disheartening, just like playing for nothing, but it's like you're kind of just going in for fun, and then you lose the motivation to try in a way.
Mhm.
Because like I think that's what LPL was good with. Like
Yeah.
Open, then you had Main, or I can't even remember what they were. Like CGI, CGM, CGP. Whereas like
Yep.
different leagues, like it was fun to push. Like starting at CGO, going up, playing
Mhm.
CGA. You sit there for a little bit, and then M&I. But at the moment, it's like okay, there's such a big drop off from like
Mhm.
even us and Vantage going to ECL, or like I think even like above the rest could make that gap.
Mhm.
But it's like the quality from ECL to us is like it would be struggle street for a lot of teams in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, because I feel overall, like, it's sheer cliff face, and I think overall probably do better if we could split the top 20 teams into a
Yeah.
separate league where, like, basically there's games where it's just pointless to play because, like, Vantage is just going to stomp some team 13-0.
Yeah.
With the open system and whatnot as well, look, and with open and ECL, if you guys win, would you feel like better if the ECL or open system would do more BO3s instead of BO1s? Because like you play BO1s in the season, would it be better if they were just BO3s instead for the intermediate, if there was any, and also for the ECL system?
I think BO1s if it's like a normal community-driven thing, but if it's like getting casted, BO3s.
Yeah.
No, I don't like this.
Damn.
Dude, that's 4 hours of my time, Night Raid. What the fuck?
Yeah, but that's kind of like what CGI was, because like I think that kind of made like me, for example, really want to. I didn't really care about CGM and CGA, but joining CGI was like almost like the push to go into pro, because it was getting streamed and all that, and then you kind of also just learn like the feeling of being watched by other people, so you don't have to get nervous when you do go into pro. Because I think like sometimes teams go into champs, for example, and it's just like a massive like pressure now that other teams are watching you, and yeah.
So you like being watched?
So I think overall, like, it's just, if we make this new intermediate division, it should be all like BO3s, and obviously ECL should be BO3s as well, which is a given. And I know a lot of players have been trying to push for that to have BO3s rather than BO2s, because I feel like the BO2 system, it's just very, very weak because like the team that's got the highest seed generally dictates what 2 maps are played. And it's just very hard for teams that are trying to get out of relegation to just try and steal a map away. They always have to go into a map. They always try to have to psych out the top team on picking a map that they're actually good at or have a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. I think BO3 just makes quality more like better in a sense. Like as you said, you'll always win the map that you pick, which makes it more enjoyable, I guess, for especially like players. Because like you could lose your insta ban or your unfavorite map, but then on the second map, if it's your pick, you come back, and then the third map's 50-50. I think that would make it more enjoyable.
So,
all right, Nathan, I got a question. Nathan, sorry to interrupt, Josh. Nathan, I got a question for you, mate. So, Script says that you're faking the funk at the moment with us. Anything to say to those allegations?
I don't know. I don't know if I can say that on stream. Not with Tom listening, so.
Faking the funk.
Hey, you meant to call him you meant to call him his actual name. His actual name is Handsome, according to James.
Jeez, I don't know about that.
Handsome.
Not Tom.
So we're lying today.
Have you seen that guy's moustache?
True.
Tom.
I don't know.
Tom. He does. I hear he's the best slow pace bowler in the country.
Dude,
We're talking about Script Tom.
They actually called him up for the Australian Test match because those the Indian cricket teams putting him out, putting the Aussies out. So they got him up.
I just wanted someone who can chirp back. It's his only job is to just sit there and just bark at the Indian cricket team.
No, his job's just when Kohli comes in, he comes in, so Kohli plays some rash shots and they the mid off catches him out or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Riley, you've been quiet, man. What's going on?
What do you want me to say?
Just anything, man. just stop Meg talking.
Just pretend you're a part of the team, mate. I know you're not part of the team, but just keep pretending you're part of the team.
Okay, Josh.
What's with the attitude, bud? What's with the attitude?
He could go in a naughty corner.
You should hear the attitude that I give Mechanical.
Oh, how could you? You're such a nice, well-spoken young man.
Oh, you don't want to know what he said last night.
Okay, this is a question. This is a question for Riley. Okay. What
Hello.
map would you remove for Train? Like, if everyone's putting Train back in the map pool, what map are you removing for it?
You asked me a few months ago, I would have said Dust.
Dust isn't in the pool.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I actually didn't know. I'm actually very unfamiliar with this game called Counter-Strike. I don't play it all that much.
Well, you're a generational talent.
Thanks. But I still probably would say Dust. I feel like it's a bit dated.
Yep.
Of a map. But if not Dust, I guess like just the basic answer of Vertigo is it's a bit of a mess at the moment. I think they need to give it a bit of a touch up and a look at, rework the whole map.
You mean actually build the building? Because that building's been left there since fucking CS2. CS 1.6 at the moment.
9/11 changed everything, man.
Do you reckon as with like removing? Do you reckon any other maps will get put in as well? Like Overpass comes back in or something like that.
I think there's a chance, considering they made some small changes to Overpass recently. Valve might throw a curveball after the major and make 2 map changes, which would be kind of spicy. We might see a Mirage and Vertigo go for a Train and Overpass, which could be interesting. I wouldn't be the happiest with it, but it could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. So Riley, okay, so what do you think Underground's chances are of beating Vantage in a BO5?
I think we have a decent shot, to be honest. Like in scrims, we put up pretty decent numbers against them. I think as long as we communicate effectively and like play together as a team, how we have been our last few games, I think we have a very decent shot. It is rough that we start a map down, but I think like what Nathan said earlier, if we just play it one map at a time, I think like we have pretty much the same map pool as Vantage.
Yep.
I think we can, like, if we're on our game, we can take every map. If they're on their game, they can take every map. It just goes to whoever's on their A game.
Dude, you're such a politician.
Dude, he's just about to reduce taxes, Flam. Come on, man.
He's such a politician. Hey, Mac, if you're still here, I got a question for you.
Of course.
Well, thank you, young Nathan. Can you tell me the roster changes at the start of the year that you mentioned? Why did you kick Roy's #1 fan, NPR?
Sure.
Well, NPR actually stepped down, so we actually kicked Bin. But that's for another time. NPR actually stepped down, so yeah, bit of confusion.
But then,
Is this true, NPR?
got kicked. Yeah, it's true. That's why my name's on the screen, because I'm on the team still.
It's on the team. Bin's not. What was it about Bin that made him
just everything?
Be forcibly removed from the roster?
Just
didn't watch my shorts.
Him in general. Mostly bad utility from
I don't think
Ben.
there's a worse player than Ben, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been told he says a lot of racial slurs.
That's true.
He's getting binned. He is literally getting binned.
Especially in this day and age, it's just not on.
Exactly.
It's not good.
Look, if at the time of his removal they knew that they were going to be replacing him with me, I don't think they would have made the change.
No, that's fine.
It would have happened 6 months earlier.
Yeah. Just upgrades. It is what it is.
Just for those listening on YouTube or Spotify, those are all jokes, by the way, okay? He got removed, but it's not for all the things that they joked about.
No, but this is
some of them, but
I'll tell you right now, this is a joke. Bin is the only player who I've knifed in an official.
And that's saying
that
a lot.
doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that doesn't
That's saying a lot. Just the caliber.
Look, I understand why he got kicked after that. Like, I can get it.
That is pretty bad, actually.
We almost picked you up, Flam, but it's all good.
Oh. I hear you already had an AWPA.
So I
We needed a star carry.
I see you guys watch a lot of demos and whatnot, or the major, of course. What team would you like to play like in the major? Like, which team in particular do you want to emulate?
Starts with M and ends with Z, I think.
I think Mongols are actually like surprising a lot of like people.
You want to play like Mouse? Yeah, of course, yeah.
No, they've been doing well too.
Yep.
Well, they had close games in the major at least.
Yep.
But I think Mongols is kind of like surprising everyone on how well they're doing. What are they on a 14-game win streak? I think.
Yeah, they are at the moment. It's like 14 or 13, and in the playoffs as well as 3-0.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think they're
13 series win
surprising
streak.
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
Yeah, like what do you
Save
like
the
about
pickings.
Mongols in particular? Like, is it the aggression, or is just Mazzino getting a free K and everyone's like, oh god, that kid's on a free K again?
I think they just they play well as a team, but they're also not not afraid to take that isolated 50-50. Because I think that's what 9-10 does really well. Is he will just go off on his own, make a play, and then that makes the whole round easier. And then Mongols are really good at punishing the re-aggression.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what makes them a really good team.
So speaking of getting to the Mongols level,
Yep.
right, let's swing back around to Coops, right? So what's your routine? Pre-maps, pre-games.
This is actually
How-
getting
how
into his
we-
routine time.
Maybe 5 hours of deathmatch.
How much time we got here?
I don't think he's allowed to say a couple of things in his routine
Pretty James,
on
pretty
air. You
James.
know?
Okay, all I'm saying, left hand, right hand Coops. What are we using?
Both actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I gotta use both.
That's respect.
Yeah, with some help from some of the teammates sometimes.
Can I see?
is
Please?
that
Yeah,
why
we
Bing
take
got
out
kicked?
the
You
again.
just couldn't cut it?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he didn't like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, so
Gen's hands
had to let him go. Had to let him go.
Had to let him go. Yeah, I get it. Your night rate's got soft hands.
This is evolving very, very, very quickly.
We're talking
okay?
about aim training, Josh. We're talking about aim training. We're talking about how you have to configure your mice before every game because Coops never saves his config for his mice.
Dude, I never.
The key part of Coop's warm-up routine is playing keep talking and nobody explodes. Get your comms up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How good? Okay, talking about games particularly, what game do you guys play as a team building exercise outside of CS2? Okay, keep talking so nobody explodes is one of them, I can guess, but any others? Do you play prop
that's
cards
been
like
the main one
Vantage?
recently.
Okay.
Oh, no. These guys got yelled at once for having bad comms, so these guys started playing that bomb game.
Yeah, to get our comms better.
How
Yeah.
good? Okay, how good are you guys at defusing the bomb? And who's the person reading the book on bomb defusing?
We share, we take turns.
Yeah, I got autism, so that explains me. This makes it fun.
Okay, okay. This is a serious question now. Have you actually completed a round of keep talking so you don't explode?
Me?
Have you guys?
I
as
think
a
we blew
team,
up more times than not.
So
I think me and Riley got halfway through the book.
are you guys?
I think,
So from this perspective, I gather you guys are a T side team. Okay, that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
Dave, just because NPR's Irish doesn't mean that he's always a terrorist.
I'm not talking about him being an IRA, but anyway,
Sometimes it's part of the group.
because on my off times when I'm not casting CS, I'm playing whatever games up there, which is either WoW or PoE 2 at the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna say WoW's pretty dead. Everyone's playing classic hardcore, which I don't like. I just don't understand how anyone plays that, to be honest. But yeah, what do you guys? We talked about Vantage earlier as well. How was that BO3 against above the rest before you get the first Vantage? How crazy was it? That second map. What was going on there in your team? How the overtimes went back and forth.
What do you think, Nath?
Thanks. Well, honestly, Nuke surprised us. I didn't think Nuke would be that one-sided, and then I think Anubis was a lot of micro mistakes from both teams. They could have easily closed it out in reg. What were they? 5-11 up, or 11-5 up, and then they kind of we kind of slowly stringed it back, and then I think both of us had equal. It probably should have went to a third map.
Yep.
But I think both teams just made a lot of micro mistakes, and then
Can we
was
talk
kind of who
about
could punish off of it.
this Coop situation?
Okay, what happened in the
Oh.
Coop situation? in the game?
No.
Okay.
Don't need to talk about that. No.
There was one round where we moved off B, and everybody was like, "Why are they walking? Why are they walking?"
My call, by the way.
Coops made sound himself and thought it was two people. Holy
So he had
It's
a bug.
so he had an ocean moment, okay? He had an ocean moment.
He
threw a
heard
flash-
one on
I
A
swear.
and then stepped and then was like two, and then so we've all rotated, and then there's 2 walkout B. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Bro, I
And
was
then
just
CSH
walking
took
and then
the
pressed
plan.
crouch and it made a step. And I thought it was someone else.
So he Ocean did, okay? I just remember that Ocean clip. As soon as I heard that, I'm just like, they're coming at A when he flashed himself, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So
And then Nathan clutched up 1v3, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps when they don't plant. No, it's always nice. But...
Definitely. I always say this to every single team, particularly like, when you get to the bomb side, you've got slight control over it. Just slap the bomb down because it puts the onus on the CTs, and if they fuck it up, it's a lot easier to kill them because they, stresses of time and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, Coops, I got one more for you. So there's allegations that you have a feminine voice. What do you have to say to that?
What do you mean? I don't know.
He's doing the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff where, the guy makes his voice sound a lot lower, He's like, I am Star-Lord, When he's talking
I love how your
before.
deep voice sounds like Eddie. You're doing a deep voice sounds like Viridian.
That's goaded.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
bro.
That's a good thing. He can just sneak in from observer job because you don't see the observers. So like, oh, yeah, I'm Eddie, mate. They won't even know. So okay.
So let's talk about Night Raid quickly. Night Raid. So you previously were on Vantage. Now you're coming up against Vantage. Is there anything that any fighting words you want to give out?
No. I'm pretty nice person.
So how many first
And
kills?
said,
So how many first kills will you have over the other AWP on Vantage? Like 10, 15, 20? Like will it be like OKs, Night Raid 15-0 or what?
I think Ming's pretty good at times. But I think as long as we play well, and don't give up easy picks, I think we should be good. I think the only person that's really like good on that team is probably Braden and Riley, but that should be pretty easy to deal with.
So you
Riley, Jinx is good when Dang doesn't. He prefers calling him Riley over me. So
all I'm saying is that you think there's 3 bums on that Vantage roster.
That's your words, not mine.
Well, that's what you said. You said there's only 2 guys to look out for, so there's 3 bums on the roster.
Yeah, pretty bum.
Maybe he's just saying like he just doesn't think about them too much because he just flicks to them and just eliminates them off the map instantly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Night Raid, one more for you. Who do you think is most likely on your roster to give up the opening pick every time?
Who's the entry?
Oh god.
Probably Michael.
Me. I'm swinging that shit.
You could have said this simply, Flam. You could have been like, who is the Yakinder on our roster?
Oh no.
I feel like I set it up for Coops to take the fall there, but Night Raid, subverted my expectations. I like that.
Yep.
Michael can play well.
Mm-hmm.
He played well yesterday.
Does he play well all the time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any last words? Because we're going to switch over to Vantage to check, because Vantage, I've sent some questions to them, and they prepared some answers, so we can do a preview there. I'll let you guys.
You guys will answer them if you want. If you guys want to fight their answers, feel free.
Yeah, okay. You want to do that? We can do that. Let's go back to So we've done the boys from Underground. Now we can go back to this, and we can talk about the. This doesn't help me at all. So we've got the Vantage Navy preview. Okay. So I've got their answers here. Okay.
Why is Mechanical just like so cute and handsome? You know what I mean?
Did Underground get time to prep the answers? No, they did not. Okay, that's a good question to ask. But so Vantage said this season for so far for them has been pretty routine and knowing what they execute on, and they believe they're in a very, very good place. Any issues from the Underground guys on that? I think a 14-0 speaks for itself.
Any issues that you guys want to bring up? Maybe the fact that they shouldn't be playing open this season, something like that.
I actually stay out of politics, so no comment on that.
Nathan have a very big stance on that.
He talks about it all the time.
He's not happy that we're versing him.
Bin being kicked was not a political move. It was simply to satisfy HR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like politics. That's just politics.
But
It
it's
is-
not politics, it's
no.
to stop the org from going under.
It is
There are
politics.
things that cannot come out.
What does Bin have on you guys?
A lot. But they did say the quality competition open. They agreed with you guys that there is a bit of a gap. So that's, you guys are, you and Vantage figure like that.
Do you want to disagree with them on principle or?
Ethics, yeah.
Okay. Next one is they believe they're an ECL playoff team next season. Okay, they've got the right personnel to go forward. Just need to continue building hard work and not get complacent. I believe that they are in particular because given KCG lost DPR, that's a big loss. But I'm just wondering if they can take a notch off Rooster or Mind Freak or even House Bets in that equation. What are your guys' thoughts on that answer?
I think they need to replace one player
Who?
for the playoffs.
No
Cannot
comment.
be named.
Yeah.
Drop him. Drop the name.
I think if they get Jack in, that would be very good. And then they probably would be similar to House Bets.
Mm-hmm.
Probably beating them regularly. But yeah, not at the moment. I think they're going to hit a brick wall soon.
Okay. Now, obviously, they agreed with you guys on the ECL style. They prefer beer freeze, and they were a bit disappointed that DPR couldn't get the over the line with the admins. And they said as well, like their 1-for-1 draws in particular can really throw your record out because those beer ones matter a lot, like how much you lost by and whatnot. Given what happened to Rooster and KZG with that tiebreaker, where KZG's 9-round win overshadowed Rooster's win basically against KZG.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't think there's
Let
anything
him know. Let him know, Night Raid. Let him know.
overall, they also agreed with your answer as well. They want to get rid of Vertigo, and also they want to get rid of Anubis for Overpass.
No.
No.
Underground
I think-
getting desperate. That's their first pick. That's why.
I think Mirage needs to get taken out.
Ooh.
That's a
Thoughts,
dude.
Coops?
That's dangerous.
Any thoughts on
No
Mirage
comment,
being
no
one of the?
Since Dust 2 is back, you may as well just remove Mirage.
There is too many yellow maps right now. You get series where you've
what's wrong
got.
with yellow?
Okay.
You get desert maps. You get the Mirage, Dust 2, and Anubis trio. Yep.
What's wrong with that, Riley?
What? I don't know. I don't understand the implication. I don't understand the implication.
I don't
Could
think
you
that sounds
elaborate?
wrong.
I'll tell you later, mate. I'll tell you later. You just don't like the Middle East? Is all you told me?
Whoa!
What?
And last, okay, not
Whoa.
talking about the Middle East. Okay, not talking about the Middle East.
Big it.
They also did say as well that they are pretty confident in winning the BO5 because they got that one map advantage, and they believe that's not going to take the full BO5. Mechanical did agree with this before the stream as well that it may not take the full BO5.
I think it would probably depend on the first map.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I think confidence will have a lot to do with it. Whoever can get the first map will kind of like ride the high,
Mhm.
and then kind of go from there. Because all of, as we said before, like all of our maps are very similar. So it's like
Mhm.
both teams should be confident and comfortable on them. It's just at the end of the day who's shooting, and that all comes down to confidence. Like who's playing as a team, who's
Yep.
playing together.
Yep. And the other one I asked as well, like, how is it to prepare for a BO5 over a BO3? And
No preparation.
they basically said, it's just preparing for something that you may be really uncomfortable on. Like, they're just preparing on maps that they don't really play too much. And that's what they said the real sort of thing is that they have to practice those maps that they're not familiar with.
Mm.
So they've had some preparation. And the last one was they agreed with you guys about the major team they want to play like. They agreed on Mongols. But anyway.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, Ming likes Mongols. That's even when I was playing with him, he really liked the way Blitz was yelling. So that makes sense.
Yep. So that's pretty much like Vantage's answers overall. Like they're very, very confident that they're going to win the grand final, and they put themselves into a really, really good place to do so. I'm actually going to check something because would they be another team that would go through Open undefeated? Because there's only been very few teams that have been promoted to ECL via undefeated record that they've not lost a single map at all. I'm gonna check
I
that.
don't think any team has done that.
Yeah, I think the only team that did that was Nordavind in Advanced a long time ago in Europe. Advanced, they didn't lose a single map and they were undefeated. That was a team of like Rubinho, HS, and Horzerk and stuff like that on it. It was absolutely crazy. So yeah.
Oh, that was a while ago. Holy hell.
So boys, I'm gonna drop this next question for the entire team.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that Twos is going to be giving you guys PC upgrades if you win ESEA Open.
Yeah, I heard
what
that
is your
thing,
dream?
actually.
What is your dream computer part that Twos should buy you?
Coops.
What are your,
Why have I
what are your
been thrown
thoughts?
under the bus?
What are your thoughts, Coop? What would
I'm
you
not
like?
saying you have to answer. He's my dream computer part.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
A monitor, a CPU, a GPU.
Inserts RAM stick. Oh,
Mate, RAM's cheap as chips. Come on, get something more expensive. Like RAM, you can buy it for like probably like $50 or something.
that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah,
cheap.
but Michael here, he when he gets the money to spend on the PC parts, he's just got to get that Zinger box.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
What's your usual KFC order, Michael?
It's got to be the 3-piece, hot and spicy, extra salt in the chips, Pepsi Max.
Wait, you can do extra salt on the chips?
Yeah, bro, that's just
Wait,
goated.
you can't.
No.
I've never
Mine's
heard of
always
this.
are soggy and they're so bad.
What?
What's your usual KFC order?
I
Nightwave?
like soggy KFC chips, not gonna lie.
what about soggy biscuits?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's like the dinner rolls at KFC. Sometimes they just they get a little bit grease on them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about your order,
So-
Flam? What about your order from KFC? We're gonna talk about this.
Mine. What is it, like a Zinger box? Oh shit. A Zinger box, and then it's like a slider. That's it. I'm a basic white boy.
Okay, I'm not gonna do mine. Mine's more basic. Just a bacon cheeseburger combo. Okay, that's what I get. With popcorn chicken.
What's mechanicals?
Yeah, mechanicals. Yeah, we're all coming around here. KFC order.
I can't even remember. The last time I had KFC was like 2 years ago. Do they still do like was it a twister?
Yeah, they
still
do.
that?
They do.
Yeah, had one of those bad boys. I haven't had one of those bad boys in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
just
should go.
that
You
chips.
should go get one.
What's the 7-Up, is it?
Yeah,
I think
7
it's
Up.
7 Up.
Yep, 7 Up's
Yeah,
the
lemonade. That's
for
pretty good.
Pepsi.
Yeah, that's pretty good. God,
You're a 7-Up boy.
more of a Macca's guy, not gonna lie. Quarter pounder.
Oh yeah.
God,
So
that's
you
what
said
happens to me
quarter pounder?
Coops, quite often, but
I can clearly see that.
It's mute.
yeah, I can't leak too much. Can't leak too much.
Okay, so now
Coops. So are you the daughter pounder or are you the daughter?
No.
I'm the daughter.
let's try to keep this to food, okay?
Yeah, we are.
yeah, it is.
What's
It
not
is, it is.
food? What
I
are you
thought
talking
this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
about CS.
All right, okay, never mind.
Oh, who's got the smoke alarm in the back?
I said
Coops.
quarter pounder.
It's a dog,
man.
mate. It's a dog,
Hey,
mate.
dinner.
Oh, I thought it was a smoke alarm.
No, smoke alarm like kills the ears. But anyway,
Well, it is a smoke alarm when you think about it.
Coops, does your
smoke
dog
alarms don't
still
have
have an underbite? Yeah. little underbite drool and everything. Still got that?
So gentlemen, Beeb has just attended into the stream. Is there anything that we would like to say to Beeb now that he's in Japan having fun, where you guys are still in the slog and gotten all the way to the grand finals without him?
can he play from
Come
Japan?
Come back, please.
Michael doesn't want to be here.
No,
Come
we
back.
miss him.
So, what happens when you guys going to win ECL? Like, is there going to be any moves or anything like that, or is there going to be any changes in the practice and whatnot? Or are you going to like build a strat book, build a giant book of strategies, or what are you going to do if you do win and go to ECL?
We
Quit.
might build a strat book. I don't think we've had one for the whole 3 seasons.
Yeah, I don't really
usually-
like strat books. They're pretty.
Usually just rock up.
Strat spreadsheet? What do
You just
you
gotta play
what
off
do you
feel.
prefer?
Yeah, just gotta play off feel. Neither. Just tell the boys where to go. They do it. Makes it easy. Nice
Sometimes.
and happy.
Mhm.
And then when they don't listen, though, that's when,
Do you put it in the Steam
What's
overlay
happening?
like most of the teams in the major, where someone finds out that you can actually put notes in a Steam overlay? Cough simple.
Honestly, Coops might do that. Play retake A,
I mean, I've
means
got
don't
something in my
die.
Steam overlay, but
Stuff like that.
Play retake 8, insta die.
Yeah. Plays a drop ramp.
Yell.
Plays committed.
So
Yeah,
it's
it is
like-
what it is.
Does
Stuff happens.
the open Steam overlay is like, don't play like your kinder and die first. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, he reads it, but then he does it anyway. So makes my life hard.
Sometimes you need to play the wrong make the wrong play
Bro, don't do this.
because the other team's always going to expect you to make the right play.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Actually,
Good outlook.
I gotta ask a pretty serious question, okay? How do you guys like focus on CS2? Like, are you guys into your monitor, like full your kinder and Jame? Like, how do you set up?
JDM all the way.
JDM.
Yeah.
Just lounge it.
I'm at least 6 feet from my monitor at all times. I'm reaching my mouse and keyboard with grabby arms.
Yep.
Jesus.
I've got binoculars strapped to my face at all times.
So basically you're the main character from Splinter Cell. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm trying my best to be Inspector Gadget.
I like that.
I like that. Anyone else? Is anyone a Jame or a Kinder enjoyer? They're like glued to their monitor.
When I was over Coops' house last year for a LAN party, he played like Jame.
Okay, so very
With
close to
like
the
the-
monitor.
It was more so Norbert, no?
He had the
Pretty sure
lazy
it's
eye
Norbert.
too, though, so he could look at the minimap and crosshair. But it was
No, that's
he
I got
he done it well. He done it well.
And playing with one hand, like, it's crazy what this kid is
Oh my
capable of.
God. I was afraid
I have a
that would be
Polaroid of
mentioned
Nathan.
about Jame. I was
Oh,
like,
whatever.
that door's going to be open, isn't it?
That door's been open the whole time.
Which door?
The door is always open when Coops is involved.
The team fanboy.
Fanboy, let's
Oh
go.
my God.
Okay, Coops, serious question. Do you think you would be making a team fanboy for an open qualifier?
If I ever get kicked, it's possible.
Ever?
And the second part, who's on it? You've got to give it your five.
So
You gotta
these-
bring in Taylor.
Ooh, I like it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, dang.
Pretty sure
Pretty
there's a B&B
feminine.
guy somewhere.
Play Meth, he's probably going to be a free agent in Fnatic.
Not a fanboy.
Who else is there? I need the list. Where's the list, Flamboyant?
Yeah, I got
I
the list for you.
I
Here, let me-
can't
let
believe
me
you
just send
guys
it to you.
keep such a tier list. Like, I'm sitting there going, like, what? CS never surprises me, okay? Like, their
Do you
strategy
want, you want the peggable tier list?
Flam missed us winning a full USP round against a full gun round because he was on his femboy list.
Oh my- To be fair,
Ooh, cheese ball?
pistol rounds
That's
are
good.
largely missable because all you have to do is just toss a coin and someone's gonna win. Always, there's always that.
Nice.
We were
Full eco.
it was full USPs, no armor.
Yeah, it was just a plain eco, and I literally just say, "Oh, they're on eco. They're not going to win it," and I just go back to the tier
Oh
list,
my god.
and they win, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, game's done. Let's just focus on the tier list for the last 6 rounds."
Oh jeez, that is actually awful team to use the USBs. I assume you guys got all the donks and that's pretty much it.
Well,
Yeah,
Coops
they
has
just gave
special powers.
isolated Fights.
Yeah.
That round was weird.
Coops.
Someone gave us a Mac 10, and then Nathan
And
got
Nate.
2 kills
Yeah.
with it. So
My
Yeah,
best
that's
weapon.
even
Love it.
worse. That is giving you money and guns.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember who it was, but I feel like he may have said that he wanted to pocket Coops last time we played them.
Oh, I know the guy. I know the guy. Goes to lots of lands. Something about beers. Coach Parnell. That's it.
Oh, you guys.
That's it.
So you guys did that to Dink. Damn, that's
No, it was Altered Edge.
Altered Edge.
Altered Edge.
Never mind, I forgot
Altered
Dink
Edge.
and Altered Edge changed the name. Oh, they got picked up.
That was my old org.
Nah, Parnell left.
Oh jeez, I can only imagine Altered Edge's Discord after losing that round. Like we gave away 2 Mac 10 kills and all
was
those
bad.
guns. Like that
It
would be
was-
tilting.
It was sad. I can confirm it was sad.
Anyways,
What do you mean? You weren't there?
I'm in that Discord, man.
Oh jeez.
It's bad, man.
Anyways,
I'm
as
in that
much
Discord. and they're like,
as much as I'd love to keep you guys here, because of course you guys got a game in about 50 minutes or so.
"Guys got a game!"
Yep. Thank you guys for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. So Mechanical, MPR, and Riley, definitely part of the team. Day and Coops. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And wish you guys good luck for today, because me and Flam are going to break down the stats and go into the grand final itself. And
Thank you for
teams
having
are
us,
gonna
guys.
Get out of here.
On you, Josh.
One
See
parting
ya.
word.
Fuck out of here.
BNB.
Hashtag wheelies.
BNB.
Hashtag Willies. Hashtag Willies.
Hashtag wheelies.
Hashtag Willies. Get out of here, Riley.
Come on.
Sorry, I'm in DM.
Bye, Night Raid.
Bye, Night Road. He's just silent now. Okay, he's just playing.
He's
He's part of the
fallen
scenery.
asleep. He's fallen asleep. We gotta move him out.
No.
We have to forcibly move him out.
Sorry, I've got that. It's done. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, let's get to the next part, which is going to be the grand final itself. So we've got a BO5 between
Yeah.
Vantage and Underground. And what map do you expect them to ban out? Like, you know, what do you expect the bans to be? I'm expecting a nuke and Vertigo ban, to be honest.
Because what? Vantage have mainly banned Vert. I definitely expect Vert to get banned. I want to say maybe we even see like a Mirage banned, or if anything, it'll be like the 5th map. It's probably going to end up being a Vert ban. It probably might even be a nuke ban, to be honest with you.
Because, like, I feel overall, like, they'll try to get a map that they're not really comfortable with to that 5th ban. But a nuke and Vertigo will probably be the bans, in my opinion. Like, they'll get them out of the way. Because they don't want to play it. They don't want to risk playing it just in case, you know, Underground are trying to sneak it in as a punish pick. Because Underground are going to get, you know, free maps nitty-gritty by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting a nuke and Vertigo would probably be their preference there as well. If they can get one of those in that they're good at. You know, I mean, they had a really good nuke game. They got 11 CT rounds against above the rest, which is fairly decent. If they got 11 T rounds, it's even better, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's one thing in particular. Now, Vantage Navy, I know they have a okay nuke, so that's going to be a bit harder. They could go into Vertigo if they've cracked it instead. And I'm also going to say, you know, if they're going to go with that Vertigo or nuke pack in particular, like, you know, what ban are they going to go for?
I really got no idea, because I feel like both of these teams can play all the maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they can all play all maps. So it'll be interesting to see.
What map will be that last map? I feel like I've got a feeling that Dust 2 will be that default map that people will give away.
It'll be Inferno. That's my
Inferno?
guess.
Okay.
Is that it's Inferno.
Because I could imagine either Vantage or Underground's picking Inferno, because it's kind of like a sort of puggy map, and every single person plays it, basically. But that's also a reason for the reason you put it as your 5th map instead.
I'm not too sure. I'm not going to lie, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing to say on this, because I just got no idea.
I guess overall, like, you know, I expect Vantage to probably win this BO5, and I probably agree with Ming in particular, because Ming answered all those questions, that it'll probably be over in about potentially 3 to 4 maps. I don't expect this to go to the full BO5. I feel like Vantage's roster is a lot stronger, and the only loss that Underground has been to Vantage, and that was on Nuke, and that was a close 13-11.
Yeah.
To them as well, and that was with HUDs in the roster as well. So HUDs was playing as well. So it was one of the early day ones. And that was with Beeb, NPR, Coops, Nutraid, and Mechanical as well. Obviously, Beeb's not here. He's obviously got a sub in. I think overall, I think Underground might look at that nuke pick against that Navy and not ban it. Or will Vantage just ban nuke upright to make Underground ban Vertigo?
Well, because like if we see Nuke get banned upright, we see Vantage getting rid of one of their best maps, including getting rid of, you know, Underground's one of their better maps.
Yeah.
So in my head, it doesn't make sense for Vantage to even float Vertigo.
Yep.
You just, because you're coming in as the better team, you're coming in as a team that, you know, should be quite comfortably winning this. Just having a fuck, what's the word? What is the word? Just having the confidence in yourself to just play your own maps.
Yep.
Like, just play your own game, play your own maps, play the Counter-Strike that you know you can play, and you should be all good. I don't think, you know, we need to be seeing
Any veto
we don't need to be
tactics.
seeing Vantage having any veto tactics. Just play Counter-Strike, you know what I mean?
And not to mention as well, like, you know, now they have the sub, which is Underground, and Vantage Navy have the full roster, which is Drox, Ming, Jinx, Super, and Jinxie. And that's an ESEA roster in itself, to be honest. I feel like they could probably, float the nuke. Whoever Underground picks it, it's their choice. And Drox has been on an absolute bender in Open. He's been absolutely destroying teams. I think in the BO3 against Above the Rest, he got a 30k, he got a 30 bomb.
Yeah.
In their OT win. And I feel like overall, Vantage, the veto's not too important to them. But to Underground, the veto's probably everything to them to try and get some parts back in their favour that they're not playing maps that they don't want to play, basically.
Well, at the end of the day, they need to have their first map be a Mirage, a Dust 2, or an Inferno. Because it's those maps where they can build those confidence on.
Exactly. I was about to say, it's they need a map where they can build momentum on. And, Mirage, Inferno, they're all the ones. So would you be thinking as, in their shoes, pick a momentum-based map. If we get it, get momentum, we can upset them. If we don't, then everything's meant to go as expected anyway.
Yeah. So there isn't too much they need to think about the veto. Yep. They just need one of their maps to be in the first two, really.
Yep.
That way they can prevent 3-0 and continue to play Counter-Strike and continue to play footy.
Exactly. Talking about football, North Melbourne, are they going to continue to play good footy?
No, we will be forever dog shit.
And are you going to move to Perth because they're going to become the North Perth Kangaroos, apparently?
No, I will not be moving to Perth. Fuck that.
Yeah, that is pretty bad, not going to lie. Okay, Melbourne is much better, and Brisbane as well.
I'd rather be doing steroids with the Essendon medical stuff than moving to Perth.
Now, let's be serious here. What are the players to watch on Vantage? As I said before, I mentioned Drox, but I feel like Jinxie's another one to watch as well. Jinxie was very, very good when he was on KCG, and I'm a bit surprised to see him get removed from KCG as well. I'll see leave KCG.
Well, Jinxie's just always sort of been that guy, you know what I mean? He's just that type of guy who just comes in, will play his own game, play his, his brand of Counter-Strike, and just does, just plays it consistently, which a lot of people, are after, and a lot of people have a lot of love for. But, I think to help Jinxie is that, he's got a great roster around him. What we've seen Jinx, we've seen Drox. Both of those guys have been playing some pretty good Counter-Strike recently, and for me personally, for that Vantage roster, Jinx and Drox are the two that you really got to watch out for. But, at the end of the day, it really all will settle down on Mingovi and his calling. Is he able to put Vantage in the best position? That's the big question.
The reason I like Jinxie a lot is because Jinxie's very good at trading. He gets those trades very instantly as well. And he's also, as you said as well, he's one of those players that you will get the same Jinxie throughout 50 maps. You'll get the same quality throughout the same maps. It's kind of like Rain in a way, because everyone sleeps on this. Everyone's Rain shit and FaZe because he's just consistently middle. It's but sometimes you want to play it like that because you don't want to play it being up and down, because you don't want to be against, let's say, in this grand final, for example, and your best player is having a shit patch.
Yeah. And, it all comes down to Vantage if they're able to hold their nerve. I feel like all these players have been in this spot before. They've been able to hold their nerve and do it once, so I've got a feeling they'll do it again.
Yeah. What about Underground? What do players need to pop off there to get them over the line in particular? Because first of all, they're playing with a sub, which is also already at a bit of a disadvantage. What else can they do in particular? What are the players that we got to look out for? Because I know Mechanical's definitely one of them. He's definitely performed a lot in the other times I've seen Underground play, especially when Underground used to do that BO3s against Arcade and whatnot. There's also Nutray, who's been in this sort of scenario before with ECL and ECL level teams, and he's a quality AWPer still in that regards. What are the players we got to watch out for?
Have you heard of the Parnell principle?
No, I've never heard of it.
It is a principle which states that if Coach Parnell goes positive, Altered Edge will win a map. We should have something very similar called the MPR principle, where if he goes positive, Underground will win the map.
What's his streak at the moment? Is he this next level negative streak or what?
He's pretty up and down, I'll be honest. If he's the last few games he went 5-13 and then a 17-15 or something like that. So if MPR can stay positive, he can keep himself afloat. He's quite easily going to be carrying through this underground side. Coops has also been settling in really well as one of those anchor roles. He's a guy who I've really liked and enjoyed watching recently.
Yep.
And then, Raleigh, a generational talent himself, coming in as that second guy a lot of the time on the entries. He's able to find trades more often than I think anyone else will be able to find. And it's always good to, watch those three sort of go at it, have their turn, trying to be able to find themselves their chances to shine and their chances to win. And, it's always good fun. It's always good footy to sort of watch. But, my ones to watch are NPR Coops.
I was gonna say overall with an anchor role, how underrated is that anchor role in particular? Just being able to hold a site by yourself, because I feel like these days in particular, because no one really highlights it. There's no really highlight other than Jim Fat, of course. Jimmy's excellent. They highlight Jim Fat. They don't really highlight JKS or Sush or anything like that. Is people really underrating the anchor role in particular? The work that I think you said Coops was the anchor in particular, the work he does, if he's able to hold a site for an extra 5 seconds compared to anyone else.
I feel like anchors have always been underrated in their positions and in their roles because realistically they don't get the best statistics, and they often have, sorry.
That's
Their job is often to just stay alive. I'm just getting a little bez. Their job is a lot of the time to stay alive and to not really go after frags. But statistically, the way that Counter-Strike is viewed in terms of numbers doesn't support the type of role that anchors are, and so we'll always leave them, undervalued.
Yeah.
But the thing is with anchors, if you have a good one, and you are very well aware that you have a good anchor. Yeah.
Because like I say, obviously, I was just looking at the records JKS was doing, and I was seeing people being going oh, JKS is mid. I'm like, dude, JKS is critical to a lot of their round wins. And same with Sush as well. He's critical to a lot of their round wins, as well as obviously Jim Fat as well for Mouse. He's amazingly impactful. And I feel overall in the AU scene, I think the anchor role needs to be a bit more highlighted on if they can hold a site for 20 seconds against 5 sets of fucking utility in front of their face, then they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I think especially with the way that the anchor roles are sort of viewed in OCE Counter-Strike. I feel like there's a very certain set of people in the region who actually do appreciate those roles, and one of them is Mechanical. Another one is Mingovi, and those guys sort of know a good anchor when they see it, and they're always able to, bounce up, being able to find something fun and being able to, take advantage of the newfound success that they're about to have.
Yeah. And also, not to mention as well, I feel like an anchor kind of elevates the team because the team knows that this person's going to last as long as they can, and they've got the good ability to either trade 1-for-1 and get as much info as they can before they go down. What traits do you think a good anchor needs to have in particular? I say one thing is definitely patience, because sometimes you got to let things play out before you snap at anything.
Yeah. Another one, just has to be sort of presence of spacing and knowing where you are in the map, knowing where you are in a server. Having that sort of idea of the space around you always helps. And I think a mindset sort of trait that we often overlook with anchors is a lot of them don't. A lot of the time, you don't need to get the kill. Being able to accept that, the game is about shooting this guy, but I don't need to do that right now. I can do that later. I can, do that whenever I get my support coming through, whenever, support util comes out to help me do that. And so, we talk about patience, but also a lot of self-control is stuff that we need to be talking about.
And a lot of delegation or reliance on teammates.
Yeah.
But I guess
a lot of your role as an anchor is pretty self-sufficient. You don't really get the help that you need, if that makes sense.
It's more of your fate is up there, and if you get anything, great. But if not, that's your role is just to get as much information, or at least prevent a lot of territory from being secured. For example, if they execute B Mirage and you stay alive 5 or 10 seconds longer than normal, you could actually take short, and that would help with retake potentially as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you'd have short market coming in for a retake, which is 50-50 compared to, let's say you die 10 seconds earlier and they're able to get a second person post plant towards short, then it's basically save time because you've only got market and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, also talk about the AWPers as well. We've got a bit of a grudge match because Night Raid's versing his ex-team in particular. Obviously, Night Raid was very, very civil about it. Do you think there's going to be a bit of argy-bargy in the server chat? You know, if we take the server chat and open up the cast console, you're going to see some barbs like Foggers and Malta?
No.
Nah.
Night Raid isn't that type of guy. He just isn't.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool card collector guy. I was trying to bait him into saying something controversial before, but he's just not that type of guy.
Yeah. I hadn't expected that from either. Like anytime you get Foggers and Malta on opposite teams, it is just very, very funny because watching them yap at each other is just non-stop. And then you get James Ruffleco as well. He just doesn't stop in server. Okay, he doesn't even stop at LAN. If you remember from TGX, he was you knew DXA won a round because James was talking.
Yep. It's always good fun to watch Ruffleco play on the LAN. It's always great fun.
So with the other AWPer as well. So Vantage went through a few changes as well. So who's the AWPer on Vantage now? Because I saw that Alec was leaving. So
we're gonna see. I have to look. We'll answer Tu's question. Are we gonna see you lads jumping in with Oni for a generational grand final cast? I won't be. I've got shit to do tonight, unfortunately. I've got some work with Grand Victoria.
I'll ask Oni. I completely forgot to ask him because basically I was going to cast the game if no one was casting it. Then Oni told me he was. I'll definitely ask him if I can jump on the casting game. I don't mind. Like either way, all I do is just play. Is either I watch the co-stream for the major, or I just cast an opening game. So I'll definitely be on the opening game for sure.
Jinx is their AWPer.
Jinx is the AWPer. Okay. For some reason I thought it was
not Jinx.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I always Alec being the AWPer to be honest, but now it's Jinx. Like the Fortnite players are just sharing their roles, mate.
Yeah, well they crank 90s in Fortnite. What do you expect from them?
Exactly. Actually, was going to ask Vantage about the Fortnite players until Alec left the team. It's like, do you guys play? I've asked them before if they played Trios or not in Fortnite because Mingovi used to be a pro Fortnite player as well.
Yeah. They probably played Fortnite with each other. I'll be honest. They probably did.
Mm-hmm. Do you play any other games or cast any other games at the moment? 'Cause I know you've been going around to Rainbow Six.
Did a bit of Rainbow. What? I did Rainbow. I've done Melee.
Mm-hmm. Super Smash
I had
Brothers.
an offer. Yeah, I had an offer to do like American football.
That's pretty good. Where at college?
No. For just for Gridiron Victoria, their stuff.
Yeah.
I had an offer to do that. I'm probably not going to accept it, but like that's interesting shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? I've been playing a lot of like NCAA. Like
What?
I'm just a football, and I've been playing a lot of NCAA. So like
Unstable.
just
I can't.
NCAA.
NCAA. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. Yeah. I've been playing a lot of that. So
which team do you pick? Okay, do you pick like the good teams like Alabama? I don't know who the good teams are anymore.
Nah, I rebuild the shit ones.
Okay.
I rebuild all the shit ones like Kennesaw State. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because overall, like a lot of these people in particular, like no one plays or casts full-time CS2 anymore in the Australian region in particular, which is kind of crazy. This is an interesting one as well, Flam. What was your take on like DreamHack being cancelled? I was a bit surprised about it, considering they sent Ben and Kerry to Stockholm because I met both of them at Stockholm. But I never saw Ben, so I believe Ben Lodge or Ben Green is completely made up. Okay, he's a figment of my imagination because he took a photo of me, but I never met him at the event.
He might be a figment of anyone's imagination. Like it's there's okay. So with DreamHack, right? It's a very like special event for me. It's one of those events where I don't think that I would have the joys in life that I do without it.
Mhm.
ROF being founded at that event, just
Mhm.
being a hooligan and being embraced as a hooligan. The last Dreamhack is the ROF Dreamhack where they were selling the ROF tickets.
Yep.
So, I've got a lot of love and a lot of appreciation for
Mhm.
Dreamhack as a whole.
Yep.
But I don't know if you've heard through the rumor mill, but apparently we're going to be getting an IEM on that weekend somewhere in Australia. So we'll see how we go.
We'll see how it goes overall. I'm a bit surprised by it, given that, as I said before, they brought Kerry and Ben to, Stockholm, and I'm like, and then you're gonna drop the bomb on that after they leave? Like, that's a bit rough, to be honest, because obviously if you don't know Ben Green and obviously Astro Kerry, that's their names on Twitter, they organize a lot of the DreamHack stuff as well, and they do a really, really, really good job overall as well. And, overall, I can see a few reasons why, because obviously the LCO doesn't exist, and ESL Challenger is definitely not going to exist, given the changes in the Valve rankings in particular. But I feel like a big issue in a lot of these DreamHacks, including Stockholm, by the way, is that they have no tier 1 events anymore. They're all it's either ESL Impact, which someone might take this the wrong way. That's not a tier 1 event. And ESL Challenger is also not a tier 1 event. But I feel like that's probably playing more in Europe, because even with the tier 2 event in ESL Challenger, the crowd was full at the grand final.
It's difficult to call them not tier 1 events, right? Because we look at S tier events like the major, like IEMs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
DreamHack have always been getting sort of the A tier, the B tier events, if that makes sense. Not the
you don't want to call it tier 1, tier. Yeah.
And so they're always getting those events that are just under S, with teams that are able to get those opportunities through their own regions and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like while they weren't having those big events, they were having a lot of regionally important and regionally relevant events.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is a lot more important than those S tier events. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
To be fair,
it's just rough.
I felt like all the events were pretty well done. I mean, the Apex guys liked it, the MIBR guys liked it, the Rebels guys liked it. The Apex guys liked it as well, coming to here as well. They thought it was really, really fun. The Party Astronauts, Rush was loving it, and Wolfie as well, which is the Swedish American that I cast quite a bit, because I casted him both in NA and EU. And I had to double back. It was him the first time I casted him in NA. I was like, is that the same guy? I had to just double check. It's what the fuck? But yeah, they thoroughly enjoyed it. And they felt the crowd was electric, and I was just a bit surprised because it was very popular this year. There was a lot of people outside waiting to go in at 10 o'clock and whatnot when it opened, and also on the second day and third day as well.
Yeah.
And normally as well, DreamHack has this issue on the second. It's either the second day or the first day. No, it's the first day generally. That no one's in at 10 a.m. So the first game, the crowd looks dead because no one's in there. It was actually almost a quarter full at 10 a.m., which is very unusual for a DreamHack.
Yeah, I don't think I was awake before 12 on any of the days of DreamHack, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Chief.
Oh, I just realized I said Apex twice, but the Aurora guys liked it as well. I completely forgot about them, okay? Because of course they came second in the end. And not to mention as well, I was a bit because I think there was some rumblings that Spirit were going to come in, because Spirit were the only ones to know the ESL Pro League. But also they're you're kind of underselling how good MIBR and Apex are in particular. MIBR and Apex are quite good teams, to get in there as well.
Yeah. I feel like if Spirit were out here, it would just be funny. Just seeing Donk shit on everybody.
It would literally be the least exciting grand final that would be. It would literally be a 13-1 or a 13-2. Not even kidding. It would be not what we got with Aurora and MIBR, even though MIBR was so dominant.
Think about it. The Spirit MIBR final that we could have had, Insani versus Donk, would just be so good to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, not to mention as well, Like, I think the big thing overall about that was just trying to get a lot of Australians to watch CS, because that was what was communicated from what I've heard around the vines. That they'll just say that Australians watch any CS, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, I don't mind if it's like tier 1 or tier 2 teams in particular, like as per se, because like a lot of people came up for MIBR, a lot of people came up for Aurora, a lot of people came up for Rebels, because I was there for each one, and also people came up for Rooster as well. And I think they were just happy just watching some really, really good quality CS2, even though all the Australian teams, like it wasn't like Brazilian fans where they just go AWOL the moment a Brazilian team isn't there. But they just didn't care. They just enjoyed it overall. Even the players came up into the crowd as well. Like, you had a few players from eliminated teams that were still there, like, Party Astronauts. Yeah. Where I got that infamous dream sequence selfie with myself and Wolfie. We were sitting...
we had a few of the KZG boys join us in Row F, which is funny. So like, you're too big time for us. Go back to VIP, bud.
I actually did go into VIP for a bit. Like, went down the infamous elevator. I'll probably, like, I'd say if there's another event held, they'll probably be down there as well as press. So, most likely press, obviously I do all the recaps and whatnot now in particular. And I do have a article for the announcement for the KZG roster as well. That's waiting to get edited. So, yeah. But overall, like, even though, like, Dreamhack, it's mainly for the content creators, even though that may be lost for a bit, it's also good to see that TGX and PAX are really trying to experiment at the same time in having those CS2 events and also expanding their events as well.
Yeah, I feel like TGX is probably doing a lot better than PAX is at the moment in terms of being able to run and handle those events. Just purely because PAX was sort of done as a proof of concept and not in like we're making it an actual event for the continuation of PAX's existence. And the TGX have already announced the $10,000 CS tournaments coming back, which will be good to just sort of watch. They always are. Just being able to watch Foggers fight for his life against Ruffleco is always funny.
I got declined as a content creator, so they better be hiring me as a caster. No, I'm just kidding. I'll come regardless anyway. I come regardless anyway.
We'll see. I haven't even heard anything yet. To be fair, no one else really has. But they've announced.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
They've announced it, but no one's really heard anything in terms of staff or commentators or prod staff or whatever. So it's just odd, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because like all these events, like they need to be supported and stuff like that as well. Like by the community. I always say this in particular, like with esports, is like the end user needs to pay somehow. And I think overall, just going to these events and having a good time. So I had a good event. I think it was this time. Was it this time last week? At it was this time last week at FBCS. So some guys were, I forget the name now. I've got the name on top of my head. They're hosting a LAN at Victoria Park. So I went there, got my laptop out because I didn't want to bring my entire studio setup because like 10 grand worth of equipment. And also not to mention as well, I don't think I'd have enough room on their desks, quite frankly, because I'll just put it this way. Like my setup is like half a workstation. Those giant workstation desks. It's half one of those. So, you don't get that much space at the LAN. I'll tell you that much. I brought my laptop, was co-streaming the major in the background. I was actually in between two teams. Awkward scenario, but yeah, like I love it when they got their clutches and whatnot. And I've just casually looked to my right, see how they did it, and that's pretty much it. But overall, like, I paid $60 for a LAN seat, and I paid like, I think it was like $20 for a dinner. And it was actually really, really good. I got to meet Cirquest as well. Cirquest, he used to be a caster. I do remember that name. And a few others as well. Met some of the local guys. Someone apparently from Adelaide to play at the tournament as well. Like, I feel like these events, like, this is why I go to these events and, like, pay stuff and go in and just report or just even just, like, enjoy it. Because, like, no one else is going... Like, your event isn't going to grow if you're not putting your money where your mouth is and just getting there. Like, you can't just yap about it. Like, this is what I really tell people. You just got to be there as well. If you want your event or if you want the seed to grow, you just got to be there. Doesn't matter if it's for 1 hour or the entire weekend. You just got to be present at some stage of going there. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why there's been a big influx into trying to revamp the LAN culture in Australia, because it's just like slowly keeling over and dying, which, you know,
Yeah, because we've
it's bound to happen, especially after COVID.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very hard to recover, given that there was no lands for 3 years.
Yeah.
And ANZC's done a very, very good job as well, like the Sydney land as well. Like the amount of people that came in there that I haven't heard of from ages. You had Matty B as well coming in there as a caster for a bit. You had Ash as well, admin. There was a few other guys as well that I recognized but didn't know their names. I think one of them was Brainstorms, as far as I know. Was that right, or am I getting it wrong? But there were a few like OG casters coming in. That, did
was Chris the caster?
Yeah, Chris the caster was one of them. Yeah, I forgot about him. He came in. Because I met him as well. There was also Liam. I met him as well. So Liam was doing all the adminning, which was Rozo.
Yeah. Brainstorm wasn't there.
No, it wasn't Brainstorm. Okay, I'm trying to think. There was another person. Maybe it was Jim. No, I'm not sure if Jim was there.
No, Matty B was there.
Matty B was there. But like, there was a lot of people that, they live in Sydney and they just popped in for an hour or so. And obviously they were busy with various other things as well. And then left, so that at least the fact is that they were still there. And also the good thing as well, a lot of people use the Fortress stuff to order the drinks and stuff like that as well. And that's actually a really, really good thing to do as well. Like Fortress did help out somewhat as well with the discounts and whatnot. But also the big thing as well, like in business, it proves to them as well how much business they're going to get from these sort of LAN events. So so some sort of agreement can actually be quantified and worked out if it's going to continue like that in the future. If ANZC is going to get a partnership with Fortress, if that ever happens or whatever it is, or whether it doesn't happen as well, because obviously if their stuff doesn't add up, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to hint at anything or anything like that, but that's the sort of thing as well.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little sensitive about ANZC at the moment because I do work with them and I don't want to give away stuff.
You don't have to, is it?
Public.
As I said, this is all theoretical, okay? I know you do. That's why I didn't want you to answer too much. Like, it's all theoretical. Yeah. Like, that sort of stuff can happen. Like, whether it's feasible to do so. And Tons actually put a thing in as well. LAN's going to struggle to ever be a thing again. Overhead costs have to be passed down. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Like, I've always said this. End users got to pay. You can't have you can see the rat race in the sponsorship money in the actual esports that's happening at the moment, where they've gone from skin gambling companies to actual gambling companies to now Saudi money. Like, it's got to be like someone, it's like the end user, the people using have got to pay. You can't go down this route because at the end of the day, if the end user isn't paying, like everything else is just, I feel like it's just flux and made up in the air on how much people you're actually going to get there. But the main thing that you're going against is the fact that everyone's had it for free for about 3 or 4 years, or so, not 3 or 4 years, about 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And that's like basically because everyone now expects it for free. But the moment you put any money on it, the entire Twitter universe is going to explode. Oh, exactly. You're not going to get the good sponsors back either, because the good sponsors can't offer the same amount like a casino, like 1xBet and stuff like that can offer, because they're able to offer large amounts of money because they don't have to go by the regulatory guidelines that the actual other stuff have to go with as well. That's another issue. Because I'm trying to remember who was talking about. I think it was either Richard Lewis or another person, where like it's hard for like some of these big companies to get back in, or the ones that do stuff legally, is because the people who are not regulated can offer 2 times as much than the regulated company. And what do you think the esports guy's going to go with? Yeah. But I guess overall, like, I feel like the LAN scene is getting there. Dreamhack is a bit of a punch in the gut, as per se, with it, because that hurts. I think that hurts the content creators a lot. Tournaments can be held like one-off, as you said. You said it hinted in the rumor mill that IEM can happen. And if it does, it can be held off as a separate thing. But I feel like it's a big of a killer kick of the gut in the content creator space. Like, it could be possible that we could get a LAN event. I'm not even too sure. But yeah, that's the end of the day. I think with esports in particular, I think a lot of people got to realize. I sound pretentious. I think people have got to realize that if you want to make money, you've got to be able to put up with like the startup sort of thing where you're gonna have potentially not enough you're gonna have cash flow issues, and trying to get people really just enrolled in the fact that I don't know, it's just building to something sustainable has been the biggest issue.
Alrighty, I think we're kind of going around in a circle, so we might end it there. Have a bit of a break before you start open.
Yeah.
Grannies, if you'd like. Yeah.
I'm waiting for Omnipotence to go live so I can raid it.
Alrighty, I might leave you to keep talking about LAN's future. I've just got to go throw up real quick, so I'll be back.
Dude, how hungover are you, mate?
I'm not hungover. I'm just sick. So.
Jeez, what do you got? A cold or flu or?
I don't know. I've just been throwing up like a motherfucker recently.
Oh, jeez. Food poisoning, bro.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna leave you to it. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Have a good day. Have fun with Open. Go show love to Ani, all the beautiful people in chat. All right. Goodbye.
Yep. See you later, Flam. Thanks for coming on, dude. And thanks for bearing with the tech issues and whatnot as well, because I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'll give you guys a bit of a rant before I go off for today. Okay. So we're gonna be ready Potence once he gets live. I'm not sure it's gonna be on the Vantage cast or whatnot. That's going to be the stream as well. I think we need to all go teams go backing small TOs to help them go big in a sense, stuff from the ground up, and do it for the fun of it, not what's in it for me. Yeah, I gotta say, like, esports, I think Richard's talked about this quite a bit as well, is that a lot of esports, like esports did the starting step, and then they launched it to big league. There's actually no middle, so the foundations to try to hold it afloat are very shaky. It can fall at any time, because it actually never went through that process. It just got lots of fucking money put into it. And I think that's kind of the case. Like, a lot of these things are expecting, like, you know, tier 1 stadium-like performances, and they just don't have the foundations for it to sit there. Like, they have the shaky foundations to begin with, kind of thing, where, like, if one thing falls apart, the rest of it can fall apart under it, and you're back at the start again. Now, there has been, like, in the AU scene overall with content creators, because I think it was a lot of esports organizations from the content creator side we're noticing this quite a lot, that a lot of AU content creators don't collaborate because it's always the what's in it for me kind of scenario. Because basically I think Sav, Aiden, I notice there's all like chiefs talking about this, but that's what they faced a lot of, like, you know, when trying to get people to collaborate with each other, in particular in the AU scene, was that people didn't want to collaborate each other because they were scared of losing audiences. Actually, Panda TV even said it as well. They were scared of losing audiences and whatnot, and like viewership as well. And Panda had also said as well that he's seen people walk over other people for money, basically, as well, which kind of like really brings it back to your point as well. But we've seen some great collaborations as well. Like, you got to give a shout out to the Cozy Magic Club, because that's done incredibly well. Like, what they started as a sort of concept, being at, you know, PAX as an event, like, kind of thing. And also, I think, doing a live show at Fortress as well on the Sunday. And also having, like, you know, quite a bit of a crowd there as well. Because I'm going to be completely honest, I played card games, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that for ages, and we didn't get much of a crowd. And we're just watching, like, you know, a podcast or Instagram stuff being developed from that, which is quite incredible. There's also been some other collaborations as well from what I've seen as well, you know, with various content creators playing with each other and whatnot. I think it was the ANZ Blizzard scene where they all did like LFI, because a lot of WoW creators, especially the one on the Blizzard ANZ embeds, they are not heavy Mythic Pluses. And I've actually asked the Blizzard ANZ guys as well, you want to reach out to some of these Mythic Pluses in particular, like the guys who are from Australia do a lot of these groups, because like they've been wanting to get some help for quite a while. You got like Hydrax and stuff like that as well. I think Provost is actually from America, but there's a lot of people who do Mythic Plus like myself that they could really go through. I mean, you know, you can't cure people wanting to, you know, check for themselves and whatnot as well. I tried not to cure that. I kind of given up on trying to cure that, because like overall in particular, like I've gone through that sort of stuff as well, even as a CS2 caster. Like, you know, I've gone through that where like that stuff sort of happens, where like you cast an entire season of CS2, and basically when it comes to the playoffs, casters suddenly want to become, you know, active again, and they're knowing that they're more popular than you, they will go onto any game that they want to, and they don't really care about you in particular, even though you've cast an entire season. Okay, like, you know, I've had that discussion as well, and I'm just like, do I want to, you know, rattle the Hornet's Nest, yeah or nay? Or do I not want to rattle the Hornet's Nest, yeah or nay? Again, I've chosen not to. I'm just like, okay, I can just go to a different game. Game will be competitive as well, and that's it. And yeah, you know, I've had that happen to me multiple times. And I basically sat with myself. I'm like, what would I do? Like, you know, if I am I going to be that person that's going to do the same thing? So in the end, like, I was going to cast the open game, and I saw that Omnipotence just announced that he's casting it. And I'm just like, do I want to cast it as the same person who is more knowledgeable in the scene and more knows the scene more, and be that popular guy that overshadows him, or do I give him the cast basically as well? So I'm just like, no, you know what? I don't cast an open game because I didn't cast any open games this season. So he casted everything for Vantage. So that's it. Oh, yeah, I gotta say, it never ends well. If you're the one rattling the nest, you get a lot of doors because A, some people don't want drama, and B, some people just look for any justification to close those doors. I think the best thing that Twitch has introduced for the AU scene in particular, because MacMate and Elvish were talking about this, is the collaboration. Like, at the collaboration sort of thing. Like, you know, when you can just knock on someone's door and just collaborate with them, basically. Like, I've got a few people here that I can just knock on their doors and just ask them to collaborate, and they will, like, essentially accept me, basically. I've never been told, like, know your place, so I'm at this level and so kind of life like that. I tell people as well, like, in particular, like, I've always say this in my articles, is like, show up, get to these lands, put your money where your mouth is, okay? And some people have DM'd me saying they felt like it was directed at them. I'm like, no. I'm just telling you guys, like, this is it. Like, this is how hard people play. Like, this is not, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking the industry way too seriously, okay? Like, way too seriously. Like, I tell people in particular, like, you know, if you're not doing any shoulder content or any additional content for CS2, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, like, you're in a scene where you can't just be casting anymore, okay? You gotta have good interpersonal skills or have something else other than your casting. Like, I always refer to this, like, you know, you got Neokai, sorry. Neokai interviewed people, had his own podcast for a bit. Trav has his own podcast as well. I think Ted's another caster I know from Europe. He has his own, you know, show where he analyzes through stuff. You go to Pimp. Pimp has his, like, you know, he rides, he has other content creations. He's on the Danish, you know, journalist outlet as well. He's on Zulu TV or whatever it is, I'm not sure. And I try to tell these AU casters, I'm like, guys, you could be a bit more. You got to be a bit more than that. Now, some people will say, like, some people cast multiple games and whatnot. And I always point to one person in particular who does cast multiple games and has his own CS2 content, shoulder content, which is Elvish Guy. I'm like, if he can do it, you can do it. Okay? And I saw Haz and his mate. I forget the other guy's caster name, but he's also a CS caster. They started their own podcast. I am happy. Okay? I am very happy because that's what you need to do. Like, you can't expect Australian CS to get more well known if there isn't someone really introducing it as per se. Now, I know with Elvish Guy, Geographically Challenged has been going on for a long time. That's great. I also didn't mention as well that Defrag launched their own podcast with Just a Tip with Karaf and Harper. I have always been asking them, like, if they want me on, I'll come on. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll have fun and I'll talk to them and whatnot. But I can probably say why they don't want me on is because they're talking about the issues at a service level, and I go, you know, a bit beyond the surface level. So I can understand why they don't want me on because I go beyond it a lot. So yeah, so that would be a kind of like, do you want a very technical person on or anything like that in particular? But, you know, this is what I'm happy about, is that a lot of shoulder content's coming in. What I'm unhappy about, in my opinion, is that my shoulder content gets no views, and I'm just like, I get in this rut being like, is it fucking worth it? Then I'm like, at the same time being like, well, you know, it just takes one to pop off and the others might as well. Other issues, we struggle to have even events for matches for people to cast, and the ones we do, people don't show up to support cast the match being played out. Sometimes at the end of the day, like with casting, I've casted games that have had 10k viewers, which was Endpoint v Mouse. I remember that because my brother was like, "Holy shit, Josh has got 10k viewers." And I've casted games where I've got 12 viewers, which is like AGO versus Scarday, because of the Scarday back in the day, and that was when ESL Pro League was on. At the end of the day, Open's going to get no viewership, and you should expect Open to get no viewership. Okay, that's what it is. And if people, let people do what they want. Like, you can't force someone to support something. It's kind of like a bit of A and B. Overall, I'm just going to say just turn up. And also, or you can just lurk, keep in the background, and keep chat on. Overall, with myself, I've not been very, very, very good with keeping up with Open. Because there's always been either ESL Pro League or ECL and stuff like that's been on. Or I want to play some WoW for a bit, or PoE or whatnot. So, that sort of stuff. That's one in particular. Like, and if you really want to support a scene, make sure you're in those and just talking to people in particular. Like, oh man, this game looks pretty sick. Or just be a bit active in chat, or even just type like 2 lines or whatnot. Like, that's what it is. Like, all it does, it takes with casting is take, 2 or 3, hey man, let's go. Like, this is fucking amazing and whatnot. Like with, I think it was even Napster or Onipotence. Someone kept pronouncing one of the players' names wrong, and I'm like, man, it's this guy's player name. That's how you pronounce his name. And I've also helped another cast that pronounced Sasa Nito correctly. I'm like, Sasa Nito is, Sasa Nito. Don't listen to chat. Because they are wrong. So yeah. Why is Oni not live yet? Okay, I was gonna say, like, fucking hell, man. Like, I DM'd you in Discord. I'm like, fuck. Never mind, you answer me here. But yeah, like, overall, that's a big thing in particular. Like I say, Onipotence probably knows this as well, because obviously he casts a lot of Open, and a lot of other people as well. You get, like, 10 to 15 viewers max on Open. Like, not even kidding. Like, I've cast a few advanced games, I get 20 viewers, because I don't cast EU advanced games too much. I don't mind it, to be honest. I just sit there and be like, yeah, I'm not a big caster of it, that's it. There's also a lot of people getting into this co-streaming stuff and stuff like that as well. And obviously a lot of people see Open beneath them. And I like I say, I make an active choice of saying that I don't want to cast Open too much. So yeah. And like, I don't, like, I cast ECL and I cast the qualifiers when I get time. Yeah, that's pretty much my deal with. It's nothing about, like I said right now, it's nothing about views with a casting Open or whatnot. I just actively just don't want to cast it. Like that's just my POV. Like, I just don't cast Open. I think it's just either a general, like I say right now, be honest, it's probably laziness of just getting the IPs of the game, and also checking up the schedule or whatnot when the teams are playing, for the quality of CS that's being played. Okay, that's one thing in particular. If anyone does need a co-caster, because I'm going to ask Johnny as well, if I can, co-cast and just lurk in of color casting like we did last time. But yeah, it's that's me being honest. Like, I don't feel the quality of CS is up to scratch, and also I am lazy. Okay, I think I've been very lazy there, and maybe I should make an effort to cast a few Open games, from time to time. I enjoy casting quite a bit as well. Like, I enjoy it, but yeah, that's how I feel it gets in, basically. Also, as well, I do like deter a lot of casters who cast with clout, and also like just only pick the big games. I always tell them the big games aren't the games you want to be casting. You want the little games. The little games get you into the scene. Okay, always get you into the scene. knowing more about an unknown player who rises up is much better than knowing about established players. Always, always, always. Okay. I'm going to be brutally honest. Knowing about up-and-coming players is way more better. Like Coops, yeah, exactly. Like, you get... For example, you got Drox, okay? I knew about Drox for about fucking 2 years before anyone started looking at him. Like, I also knew about Insani as well for about... Before Insani got into Melbourne for Challenger, I knew about him. Like I knew like how crazy insane he was. Okay. Because like, you know, and also with M80 as well, like, you know, with Malbs and stuff like that. Malbs was actually, you know, Malbs I didn't know too much about. But like there's a lot of like good players and stuff like that that come up in the scene. And then when you get to the big stage, it's better knowing about those little players because the tier 1 casters aren't going to know too much about it. Like, I think it was either Anders or Moses went to Neokai a lot about tier 2 EU players because Neokai casted these players non-stop. I had Shocks come to me and ask me about all these tier 2 EU teams as well as Neokai when she was doing the Antwerp stuff. Okay, and that's your in. That's your into your industry. And if you're asking, yes, that shocks. Yes, that shocks. Okay, like that's your in because you're talking to them. Now, did I take full advantage of it? No, not really. Okay, I just gave it and that's it. Okay. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it doesn't go well. That's pretty much the end of it. Okay.